with Mr. Dheeraj Sinha, who is the Managing Director, India, and the Chief Strategy Officer, South Asia for Burnett, one of the leading advertising agencies. Dheeraj, welcome to the session.
Hi, glad to be here.
Dheeraj, this is obviously the Black Swan event, and different industries, different organizations are reacting depending on what their reality is. And what has been your experience in terms of leading your organization through this period of crisis?
Yeah. So, a couple of things, Kumar. I mean, very early on during the crisis, we realized that we needed a framework to give purpose to our people and to help our clients navigate the change, because there is no playbook for this change. And if you look at from a business marketing advertising perspective, everything in this genre is about the long term, right? So all marketing models, all business models are about long term. Your business planning cycles are 5 yearly, 10 yearly, and so on and so forth. There is nothing which allows you to think short term in a strategic way. And here you were facing a short term, which if you didn't tide over, there was no long term beyond this. And therefore, we launched a framework that we called 036. So it's about what do you do in the zero, which is the now, what do you do in the immediate, which is the 3 months, and what do you do after 3 months, which is 6 months. And it was a framework which we developed, which was built around workshops that we ran with all of our clients. We looked at the mega shifts which were happening in their categories. We looked at the major shifts in consumer behavior that were going on at that point in place. We looked at what those companies were very good at doing, what were their core equities and core values. And we helped all our clients build a 036 plan, right? Not just from a communication marketing perspective, but a lot of these plans, for example, led to new product innovations. So for one of our clients, such as Shadi.com, we helped them launch a new platform of Shadi from home. Right, so it's a full-fledged service, and we got marriages happening from home. For some of the laundry clients, we developed products which help your clothes to get virus-free after the wash, and so on and so forth. So lots of innovation. So that was the first thing we did to build a framework which helped clients navigate their immediate from a strategic perspective. This also gave the organization a rallying point. Right, so here you are entering a pandemic. What do your people hold on to? What do they take to the clients? What are they going to think about? So everybody rallied around what we call these 036 plans, and in these about 6 odd months, we created 90 pieces of work. Wow. Across clients around this initiative. So that was one big initiative that we launched very successfully to help us navigate. The second was at the level of culture. Right, so in some ways, I mean, earlier, so we have 4 offices in India in all 4 metros, and earlier, before pandemic, you have to fly and you have to spend 2 days in each city to be able to meet your people and bring them together. But come pandemic, we started this ritual every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. in the morning, which we did that today as well. Right, top 50 leaders of the organization, they dial into a Zoom meeting, and we spend an hour. Right, discussing what's going on in the work, any issues, if somebody needs help. So suddenly you had teams in Bangalore talking to teams in Bombay on a call and saying, you know what, I need help with this. And the Delhi guy is saying, okay, I can help you with this. So these Tuesday calls is something that we all look forward to. It's brought the organization at one platform like never before. This wasn't happening before the pandemic. So we started this. This is for the top leadership group. We started what I called, Charcha on Chai with me, and I meet people in bunch of 10 people, 15 people of a team, and these are the youngest of the pyramid, and discuss live with them. Are they well equipped? Do they have suggestions? Are we doing well? And answer their questions about when are we going to come back to work, and so on and so forth. So those are the 2 big initiatives that we launched. We also invested a lot on mental well-being, Kumar, and we realized that as an organization, we weren't prepared for that. So we did tie up with organizations on mental well-being helpline, on proactive workshops with people on how to identify people have issues, because we did confront situations where some of our colleagues had anxiety issues, they had stress issues, and we had to counsel them, we had to get them to the table, and so on and so forth. So while all of this before the pandemic was a matter of an article that you read, suddenly in the pandemic you were in the middle of it, actually facing those issues and navigating them. So this is how we've kind of developed a playbook through the pandemic on managing the challenges.
Sure. And how has it been personally for you, Dheeraj? Because this has been a leveler in many ways. You've been working for home for so many months now, and I guess even for the near future, it'll be like that. How's been the personal journey for you from a mind perspective, mental sort of resilience, agility, etc.?
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, honestly, I for a change, I realized that no matter how much I used to crib about travel, and I used to be on a plane 3 times in a week. I don't think that's going to happen any longer, anytime in the future. But somewhere midway down the time, I realized that I did miss travel. I did miss being in different geographies, in different rooms with different people, and that added a lot of energy, a lot of intellectual energy as well, personally to me. So I started missing that, and therefore I created other rituals, because I realized that I got a lot of energy from people by talking to them. So I started creating rituals of having weekly catch up with clients. I started creating rituals of having weekly catch up with my teammates. I started creating rituals of having, say, once in a while a drink with 2 or 3 clients together, because that alchemy is important as well, right? Personally, for me, I took refuge in the kitchen, right? So and it was good, because the help wasn't coming, and it was good. I mean, I wasn't very good in kitchen before this, I must say. I mean, my claim to fame was that I can cook great Maggie and great omelette, despite spending 10 years in hostels. uh, and because I'm not good at it, because I have to YouTube it, and therefore I have to focus on it, it allows me to live a totally different rhythm, right? So I have to switch off from my work, because if I don't focus on that, I'll create something that nobody would like to eat. So I've taken, I mean, I've been in kitchen quite often, at least 3 to 4 times in a week, learning new dishes, creating them, right? Apart from my usual health routine, which I've tried to keep on. But I have to tell you, there's been a struggle. There's been a struggle to demarcate work life from personal life, because physically you're in the same space. It takes a lot of mental will to switch it off.
True, true. When you mentioned about mental health and wellness at the organizational level, are you also seeing that as a total change in mindset for people, that they're reprioritizing sort of health, wellness, peace, whatever, happiness, whatever we call it, within their consumption basket in terms of the amount of time or money or resources they will put to it, both within the
Yeah,
organization and, let's say, with clients or consumers in general?
yeah, I think the big shifts have happened. That earlier, mental health and well-being was a good conversation, right? I mean, it's good to have conversation. Today, it's become a necessity, because people are face to face with it, right? Suddenly, you had a disease that you realize that no amount of money, no amount of medical help can save you from it. Your own immunity, your own body, and your own mind is the biggest asset you have, right? You can't book a ICU any longer, and it won't help. And that has been a big shift in people's minds, right? So people have started paying attention to that. If you look at from a consumption perspective, all products and services which are about building immunity, which are giving you better health. So categories such as in Abbott, Ensure, etc., which are adult nutrition products, have done really well. Chyawanprash for Dabur has done really well. Insurance has done really well as a category, and so on and so forth. Right. So people have definitely prioritized health. from a consumption perspective. Even in organization, young people, right, millennials facing anxiety issues, right, millennials living with parents facing anxiety issues because they've never lived with parents, and there's a clash of values. And now you're there's no outlet, you're not going out, you're not meeting. I mean, one of the biggest insights we learned, Kumar, is that the office was actually an escape for a
True.
lot of people.
True.
Right, and a lot of people are saying, when are we coming back? Because there's no longer we can live in the environment that we are living. So huge amount of questioning of what is really work-life balance, what is the role of office, what is the role of colleagues, what is the role of going out, and all of that today is being front and center because you're face to face with it. It's not an article that you read anymore, it's not a workshop that you attend. So huge shifts, I must say.
Yeah. And to your point, the women folk have had it tougher because now their spouse, the children, the in-laws, everyone's at home 24/7, and in most cases there's no house help because of the pandemic, so they are pretty much doing all the domestic work and tending, in terms of mind space, they have no time for themselves. It's a
Yeah,
huge.
absolutely. I think it's been very tough, and depending on which strata of women we are talking about. In fact, we realized that bulk of this education moving online. We realized that in bulk of Indian households, the boys were getting access to the gadgets and the online resources, and the girls were dropping out. So in fact, for a client, Whisper, we launched a platform called Mobile Shala, which is designed to give the girl child access to online education and the girl child access to resources for online education. And across data, we are realizing that it's been tough for women, as you've said, because they're managing the household, they're managing work from home, they're managing children's education from home. So absolutely, it's been a huge drain on that. Also, issues on issues around patriarchy leading
True.
to
True.
issues in pandemic as well. Yeah.
True. I agree. The final question I'd ask Dheeraj is, given the this unprecedented experience that you've had both individually as well as at an organizational level, what is your strategic expectation from the office of the chief learning officer going forward?
Yeah, I think never before has learning become so important, right? As an agenda. I mean, if you look at our industry and our organization, right? A lot of our clients shifted their mandate from below the line to digital overnight, and we had to reskill good 20 to 30% of the organization from mainline skill sets to digital abilities, right? And that's only going to accelerate in the future. Now, obviously, the solution to that is not just changing your workforce. The solution to that is repivoting the skill set and the mindset of your organization to new age toolkits, to new age ways of working, right? So to my mind, that's a big ask from the learning chief learning officer in my category and in my business, of being able to pivot the bulk of the organization to new age skill sets, to new age mindsets. That's one. Second is we realize that a lot of our approach to mental well-being and mental health, Kumar, is being reactive. So there's a helpline, and if you feel that you need, call up the helpline. But in many cases, we realize that people are not able to diagnose, or there's an inertia to get to the helpline. So how do we turn this whole idea of mental well-being, rather than from having a set of resources that you can reach out to an approach where you are being reached out to? So we are now working on rolling out a set of workshops with leaders and everybody alike to engage them in the idea of mental well-being proactively, rather than stay happy with a set of resources which are available for people to access reactively. So that's the second big ask from the chief learning officer on how do you pivot the organization to be actively thinking about and seeking help on mental well-being. How do those practices become everyday rather than reactionary?
Sure. No, and that's a very progressive way to look at it, because skills are no longer just about, being digital or, accounting or domain or technical. It's also about mindset, right? And within mindset, if you don't have mental well-being or mental health, then, that mindset is going to be broken or will be tested badly
Yeah,
in such times. And, this is
yeah.
obviously not going to be the last time we will see a black swan event, right? So we need to be prepared. Completely agree. Thank you so much, Dheeraj. We run out of
Thank you,
time.
Kumar.
Great points from you, some great takeaways for our audience. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Been a pleasure.